Welcome to Shas Illuminated. Please enjoy the following shir.
That Yaakov Avinu is B'Seif Yamav, and he calls Vayikol V'nei LiYosef. After Yosef, he asks him, Al Nasik Reini B'Mitzrayim, and Yosef swears to Yaakov Avinu. It says, Vayishtachvu Yisrael al Reish Hamita. Yaakov Avinu bows al Reish Hamita, by the head of the bed. So Rashi's bothered, wie kann das sein? How can it be that Yaakov bows to his son? It's impossible, Yaakov Avinu to bow to Yosef. Rashi is bothered by. So Rashi answers, Tale b'idnei sagidle. A fox in his time bowed to him. Normally the king of the animals is the lion. It seems a month a year. I don't know how they work. Strange systems. 1 month a year the fox gets the rules. There's Dvarim there, what that means. But a month a year the fox, the Mefarshim say the fox rules. And in that month he's definitely not the normal king. The lion's the normal king. But 1 month a year the fox is the king. And when the fox is the king, you got to bow to him. Tale bidnei, in his time, if that's his month, sagidle, you have to bow to him. So Lemaisa, Yaakov Avinu, it's inappropriate, it's his son. But he bows to Yosef. Yosef's the leader of Mitzrayim. In Halacha, he has the din of Melech on Yisrael. He's the king of Klal Yisrael. And Oibazah, Yosef's the Melech, Tale b'idnei, the fox in his time. Yaakov's more chashav, Yaakov is the Tata. But Tale b'idnei, sagidle, so that's why he bows to Yosef. Rashi continues on al Reish Hamita. He bows al Reish Hamita. Rashi says, Litzad HaShchina, towards the Shchina. Mikanam Rusha Shchina l'malim Rash Yosef shel Chayla. From here, he bowed al Reish Hamita, he bowed to Hashem. And we learn from here that the Shechina is al Reish Hamita. Rashi just said, Talad bidnei sagidlei, that he was bowing to Yosef, like a steer in Rashi. One comment, Vayishtachvu Yisrael, he bowed to Yosef. Rashi shocked. How could he bow to Yosef? The father bowing to his son is inappropriate. And Rashi's mitaretz, that Tale b'idnei sagidlei, the fox in his time, you bow to him. And then it continues on, al Reish Hamita, says Rashi to the Shechina, Litzad HaShchina. Mikan she'Hashchina is at the Reish, is l'malam Rash Yosef shel Chayla. When there's a Chayla, the Shechina is there. So then Vayishtachvu Yisrael is to the Shechina. So already the Mefarshei Rashi shtel on this. And the Mefarshei Rashi say a teretz. They say, Avad, if it meant he bowed to Hashem, shouldn't say Vayishtachvu Yisrael al Reish Hamita. Should say Vayishtachvu Yisrael Hashem. So Elamai, the stimus halash Vayishtachvu Yisrael is to Yosef. But if it only meant to Yosef, why does it say al Reish Hamita Vayishtachvu Yisrael? Yosef swears and Yaakov bows, obviously to Yosef. So Elamai, it's al Reish Hamita. Teretz is both things. He was bowing to Yosef. But he's also bowing to the Shechina. He did it al Reish Hamita. He turned Litzad Hafech Atzma Litzad HaShechina. He turned that way. Both things are b'mashmois. Both things are true. He was bowing to Yosef and he was bowing to Hashem. I wanted to say to the Chevra what hits me. I think there's a very important matter here that hits me. That the Torah says both. So first of all, Hashem knows, could talk, so say two dinim. He bowed to Yosef, he bowed to Hashem. Hashem, in one sentence, Yaakov Avinu bows. He bowed to Yosef, he bowed to Hashem, two zachen. I have seen people bow to rulers, to powerful people. And we all have seen there's two anhagas. There's a bowing to a powerful person, that's the pshat, a person is afraid. There's so much power, we're afraid. If a president of the United States will come, so people are afraid. There's koyach, there's power, so there's a certain chanifa, flattery, a sense of, we better be careful, we're beholden to this person. And there could be all sorts of fears, all sorts of ways of reaching out to people, of being Baiteach ben Divim, that's a certain hanhaga of bowing to power. There's a whole nother hanhaga of bowing to power, that this is the matziv, that I'm supposed to, he's in charge, and this is what Hashem wants. We're loyal to Malchus. There's a certain anhaga. Even in a yeshiva, a big supporter for a yeshiva comes, I've seen it, it's subtle, sort of, but it's not really. A big supporter, there's gratitude. A person should be very makatayv, should be mechabed, tremendous kavod, supports the yeshiva. So the person's, Rabbi was mechabed ashirim, somebody who supports the yeshiva. The yeshiva is akaras hatayv. But there's I don't know if I even want to say a fine line. There's the hakaras hatayv of an advent, of somebody who donates to yeshiva, and that is a kiyum of bowing to Hashem. The bowing to Yosef is the pshat, is a bow to Hashem. I want to describe. My father would listen to doctors very loyally, and I saw this. I can't prove it to you. I can express how it looked. He listened to doctors because he was maimin b'Hashem. Hashem runs the world, so this is the shliachs, and he had such a certain anhag of loyalty to doctors that had nothing to do with the doctor. That nothing. The doctor said, "Go to man, he's a shliach of Hashem." But even following the instructors to doctors, I saw emunah b'Hashem.
Wow.
Hashem runs the world. He sent this person. Okay, so let me listen. So this is what the Rebbeinu Shalom wants from me. So in following, you could follow the doctor because you're a maimin in people, or you could follow the doctor because you're a maimin b'Hashem. You could bow to the melech because you bow to Hashem, or you could bow to the melech because you bow to the melech. Here where it says Yaakov bows to the melech, and the Psukim HaMevuri was bowing to the Shechina, in that manner did he always bow to the melech. The Kach goes, oh, he's the melech. Oh, say there. He's the melech now, okay. You can see such anhaga if a president would come. It would be silly to make leitzanos. You were mitzvah. The Rebbeinu shows mitzvah Moshe and Aaron to be mechabed parei. It was a Russia. Let alone so a guy has a position of power. So that's the anhaga Hashem wants from us. So respect. If a mayor or governor shows up, a person has anhaga, he's the governor, he runs the place. Beside this, there's anhaga of kavod that the Rabbanan Shalom's mitzvah on us. But it's a very big difference if that bowing is a bow to Hashem. The Rabbanan Shalom runs the world. This is the world he made. This is the anhaga he was mitzvah. When the tali be'idnei sagidle is the reason for the bow of the malchus, so then it's so much sense to me that in the same, he bowed to Yosef, which was a bow to Hashem, which was all about bowing a certain acceptance of the matziv. Kach gazer Hashem. So every bow to Yosef was a bow to Hashem. I can picture the way somebody would treat a melech and bow to a melech. Would kipshutai be a bow to Hashem? That's how tzaddikim live like that. They're bowing to Hashem. It's all on hug of loyalty to Hashem. Their bow to any person would be a bow to Hashem only to Hashem. Kach gazer Hashem. This is the matzav Hashem set up. It's only a bow to Hashem. I think we say in Bruch Shmei Sagidna Kamei. I bowed to you. I think we're shaykh that all our bows are only to Hashem. L'cha tichrach kol berach. All knees bend only to you. But I always seem to bend to other people. That's only because kach gazer Kosh Baruch Hu. All our knees only bend to Hashem. When that's the anhaga, when that's the tzivli, and if one would watch tzaddikim and gedolim and all these types of matzavim, I say it's a subtle difference. I don't know if it's so subtle. It's a difference. You could see it and feel it and sense it, whether it's in the case of an ashir or somebody yeshiva is reliant on, and no question about it. There's an anhaga of derech eretz, of kavod, of akaras hatayv, but you could sense when the bow is to Hashem. It's a bow to Hashem. Say there's certainly a derech eretz, certainly a kavod, but a bow to Hashem.
Why don't we say in the Shashkin or Shesed Shalchayla, why do we raya That the Rebbe's married.
Because he did al Reish Hamita. He was hafach l'tzad. Why did he do that? What was he turning al Reish Hamita? Vaises, he was turning to the Shechina. But I'm just pointing out that in the same bow to Yosef is the way the Torah wrote it. In the same bow to Yosef teaches us is even the bow to Yosef was a chelik of that bowing to the Shechina. That part of bowing to Hashem is setting up and living in the world He wants.
Are you saying that's Pshat and Talab Idnei, that anytime you bow to somebody, it's Talab Idnei?
Yeah. That's yeah. I'll tell you what's interesting. For years, all of us, let's be honest, and this is the last couple of years I've spoken about this. The guys have taught me the last couple of years, and Rav Ezi knows this, Rashi, Tali Bidnei Sagidlei, all of us as parents of Gabriel want to teach this to our children. The person's in charge, and this is something like, so I say it, you can get emotional about it, just different situations with our children, with guys that I'm close to, the amount of, in the summers, the amount of energy many of our guys in yeshiva in the summers take on jobs. And they're always shmerkaiten. They're always. The guy's mad at his boss. The boss is mad at him. It eats a lot of energy in the summer. Because guys are working for somebody and they're upset. The boss, he's so dumb. And the guy might be so dumb, but I'm begging the kid, Tale Bidnei Sagidli, he's your boss. Learn to follow the boss. He's in charge, right? He's dumb, he's stupid, all guilty of all the things as charged. But Tale Bidnei Sagidli, for our children, to the teachers here in Waterbury, they're all Myrdik, they're all mamish lions and kings. But even if it won't be that way, if it will come out that way, we all want to teach our youth Tale Bidnei Sagidli. When something's not niskabel, I always ask myself, why not? Truth should be accepted. So it should work. You have to ask yourself, if you're saying something over and over and it's not being listened to, why not? So I've thought a lot about this, and kids just can't. Finally, a guy made a big reishim on me. A guy was going home and he was fighting with his mother, making chaos, and I was begging him, she's in charge right now, she's wrong, she has issues, beside the gomer, I hear, but I was going to argue, he was saying good things. Before, so just listen to you, for your safety, for your sake, for your yishuv hadas, for just talei bidnei sagli, when you're home for a couple of weeks, I hear, but before it. The guy said to me, I'd rather fight and be miserable than accept what you want me to accept. Talei bidnei sagli is you accept the fox is not supposed to be melech. It's a tragedy to it. He said, I'd rather fight and just beseder. There's a deep Inyan, and it's Be'emes Shammai and Hillel. It's not the main thing I want to talk about today. I wanted to talk about that first thing for now. But I want to say that a lot of Anhaga of Hillel is accepting the matzah the way it is, and Shammai is the way it's supposed to be. And Talei B'idnei Sagidle is very Hillel, and kids tend to be very Shammai, very. Many kids, I refuse to accept it, that's just sad. You're like old and say there, this is the matzah, like no, kid, no way. That's not how it's supposed to be. There's a lot, if you understand this, you could teach Talei B'idnei Sagidle. The kids are coming from a place, and kids tend, the adults like this too, it's not, this shouldn't be this way. He's the melech, are you kidding? It's a b'di'evet, it's a month, it's an interim king. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how this happened. You have the tata and the son, you have the lion and the fox. Why is the fox the king? Sometimes it happens. I don't know. They taka mixed up the ballots. The taka was cheating, maybe. He was right. They're cheating. They put the wrong guy. What can I tell you? It happens. But if you understand that the child is coming from a sincere place, it's not the way it's supposed to be. There's a beauty to that, of not accepting what is. There's a beauty to that. Mashiach times we pass them like Shammai. Means there's a day. And it's important to remember Shammai. We study Shammai and Hillel, there's a way it's supposed to be. Don't ever forget that. They're just saying, listen, right now, the kid wants us to know that one day there's going to be a melech, the way a melech's supposed to be. I have seen this, that if you understand this, you could teach Talei B'idnei Sagidle. Because like anything, if you don't know where somebody's coming from, you can't teach. If you understand it sad, and mamish understand and absorb it, if you're so upset that the fox is the king, it's hard to take and hard to accept. Maybe from that place you could teach Tali B'nais. And as much as you could understand the other side, if you're frustrated, I don't get it, this is in charge. If you could understand how frustrating that it can have such a dumb boss, it shouldn't be that way. A boss like this, making decisions, shouldn't be that way. It's not the way it should be. If your mamish could feel it and understand it, you probably could teach Tali B'nai Sagadli. But that was the first Inyan that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to mainly focus. That's an important concept, Tali B'nai Sagadli, and a harder concept, hard to keep and hard to teach, that there's a time and a place for somebody, and to accept that. That's an important lesson, but the really what gives the koyach of Tali B'nai Sagadli is the emunah b'Hashem. The emunah is about Hashem. This is the matzav that gives the koyach of Tali, that Hashem made this matzav. It's about Hashem. When it's about Hashem, you comfortably accept the matzav and you bow down. This is the boss. There's ashkacha. There's an emunah. It takes like that type of emunah to bow. So when the bow is to Hashem, you could bow to the fox in his time. That's really what I wanted to focus on first. Later in the parsha, Yaakov Avinu benches all the shiftei kah. And at the end it says, the pasuk after Yaakov Avinu is mivarech, speaks to all his children, all the way at the end of Yaakov Avinu's life. So it says, Vayivarech Oisam, he benches them. Ish asher ki birchasei, every man his unique bracha, Beirach Oisam, he benched them. Now Rashi is bothered, I should say he benched him. Ish asher ki birchasei, every man his bracha, there was a unique, he understood each one, and each one was different, had his own bracha. So it should say, Ish asher ki birchasei beirach oisai. He benched him his bracha, but it says each man his bracha did he bench them. So Rashi is bothered by this kasha, that it says each one his bracha did he bench them. Says Rashi, Lo haya lo loimer ish asher ki birchasei beirach oisai. He benched him his bracha. What's oisam? Ma talmud loimer beirach oisam. Says Rashi, Talmud lo yabeich Isam, he was kol on kulam b'chol habrachos. He taka gave Yehuda gvuras ari. He gave Binyamin Ze'ev, Naphtali the sweetness ayela, but then he gave them all the brachas. Now, Ben is some very difficult Rashi to learn, so I don't get it. If he benched Naphtali with swiftness, but then he benched them all with swiftness, so now we all have swiftness. So what do you mean he benched Naphtali with swiftness? Ultimately, he benched them all with everything. Was there a unique bracha? It's hard even to figure out pshat. Bemis in pshat, if somebody has a pshat, I'd be interested. What's Rashi saying? He benches each one, Naphtali's swiftness, Gvura to Yehuda. But that was at Pratius. But then Yachal, he just benched each one with their own bracha, but then he was kalam kulam. He said they should all have the gvura of Yehuda. So I guess one can learn in Pashup Pshat and Rashi. In Pashup Pshat, one could learn, and it would probably, maybe that's the emistic of Pshat, is Yehuda specifically. They all have a gvura, but the getting it specific meant he was mitzdayin in that manner. They all should have swiftness. Ben Naphtali got a special dosage of it, more than the others. So they all would get a bracha of swiftness. Maybe if they all got the same thing, so what was the oifen prati that he gave to different ones? So maybe you could tell you they all got, they should have the bechina of swift. He's specifically a little more swift. If anybody who's into the Enneagram, You read the numbers, we all have all those, they're all their spheres in the midas of Hashem, we have them all. But you have like your mitzdayin in a certain one. If you study it, you stand out in a certain one. So here, I guess that's how, is that how the Chaver would learn Pashup Shat? I assume, Rabbi, that would be Pashup Shat. That's what I assume. If somebody has a different Shat I'd like to hear, this is how I say. But I was thinking is like this, and the Rashi, and the I don't want to, it's not free to like shtup things in Rashi. You can't say what you want in Torah. When I learn these psukim, this is what I hear, and maybe Rashi means this. Maybe Rashi means this. I don't know. I don't want to shtup something in the pasuk. When I saw the pasuk, I thought Rashi would learn this way. Then I saw Rashi. I don't know exactly what he means. But when I saw he gave each one a bracha, and he blessed them with each one's bracha, it made me think about how Yidden are supposed to be. Today, 4 Chabad Hasidim showed up to Yeshiva. They were very special. Talmidei Chacham, articulate, B'nai Torah, really special guys. I view it that it's pasha when you see things in Yidden. That's us. So wow, we're so this. Whatever you see by Yidden, that's us. It's one big us, our people. And Yaakov benches the Shvatim, but there's a unity that the bracha of Naphtali's bracha of swiftness is a bracha to them all. Because it belongs to Klal Yisrael. It ties in. Maybe it even means that in some way we'll all be swift because Naphtali is swift. Could be even in fits with that. It could be. But the word that we're one people and united, in Yeshiva I've seen this. When people are united, it's funny. It's literally funny. If a guy has a beautiful voice, we all like have a gaiva from his nice voice. It's a beautiful zach. The whole Blue Ridge is like puffing from the Kail when he's learning. The Torah says that we're friends. Then we're such b'nai Torah. The Chevra comes. People are they're so good at learning. It's us. It's all us. It's our Maila. It belongs to us. It's mechazek us. It lifts us up. It makes us strong. Naphtali's sweetness affects the rest of the Shvatim. He blessed us with his swiftness. And it could be everybody gets swift. You read Tanya, you see how connected we are in a spiritual way. It's la yu'uman. The way we're connected, that's going to be from the biggest surprise in Shemayim, the way Yidden are like linked. One Yid like strengthens and all other Yidden get mechuzik. Get more emunah. Rabbi Yisrael spoke to his Talmidim like this. He said that we're here, make some chizuk, and a Yid in Paris will become Shomer Torah Mitzvah. We're connected in very deep ways, Am Yisrael, very deep and profound ways. We're one unit. Tzaddikim, forget about the tzaddikim, adara mamish. A tzaddik like fasts a little bit, and then Yidden all over, all of a sudden feel like this chizuk and emunah and a chizuk and yadus. We're deeply, deeply connected, Am Yisrael, profoundly connected. So he benched all of Klal Yisrael with the mile of the one. I've seen this in connected groups. You could see it. One guy's a good ball player, and everybody's like puffed up. He was good. It's with one chevra, with chativ achas. He's a good ball player. I'm proud of his prowess. That's he benched us with the milas. Ish asher kibir chasei be'erech haisam. All of us were blessed with the milas of kol yachid v'yachid. That's what I see in the pasuk. In Rashi, could that be that he was chazir and benched them all? Because if Naphtali has it in a certain bechina, that means you all have it. Maybe even in Rashi, I don't want to shtup. I'm trying to learn a Rashi. It might even be, maybe somebody learned that Pashup Shat in Rashi. I'm coming to learn. Perhaps, but certainly this inyan of the Achdus Yisrael, that the mile of one, it's like, it's me'ain that story of Rabbi Levine, where he said, the doctor asked his wife where her leg hurts, and he pointed to a spot and said, it hurts us over here. So that one Shevet is gifted with swiftness. Naphtali gets swiftness. We were all gifted with his swiftness. My father once said a line. He was his childhood friend owned a boat. My father once said, the only thing better than owning a boat is your best friend owns a boat. We own a boat. But my father, his community was so generous. We would come over, he would take us boating with his friends' boats. See, Mamish had the keys. That's Klal Yisrael's bracha gets shared. What's true by one becomes for us all. Ish asher kibirchase berach haisam. Vayevarech haisam. Ish asher kibirchase berach haisam. All of the shvatim were benched with each unique shade, each independent shade, its bracha. It became a blessing for them all. That's mamish what Yaakov Avinu wanted. So, it's mamish pshatav in the psukim for sure. In Rashi, could be that's what it means. Very, very, very shaykh. In Rashi, that's what it means. There was another inyan I wanted to speak. I wanted to learn the Gemara Site of Chushim Ben Dan, but I think it will be kind of funny, not for a few minutes, not to speak about Asar B'Tevis for a few minutes. I want to suggest, it's a Yisra Arichos, the question is what's wrong with translating the Torah? Talmai has people translate, I'm a huge arts guy. I'm not making funny, because I love arts girl. Arts schools from it, you can't even say it lightly. They were Mizaka, they taught, they accessed Torah to so many. So what's this Talmai? They're translating Torah. It needs a pshat. I don't know the answer. It's not a small question. What's the chayshech? They're obviously Torahs are Torah. Torahs are. And they're trying to, they make a chayshech, there's some battle against Torah. So I want to claim, I'm chayshish is pshat. I'm chayshish, what were they doing? This is what I suspect. It's very important when Art Scroll makes this clear, to their credit, to these Sadiqim's credit, they're a pirush on Torah. Very important. They're not like the Torah is right here. And a Yid studies Torah and works on Pshat. And we work together. Each Yid learns Torah and harvests on Torah. The Gemara in Gittin, the Gemara says that Rabbi Yasser asked Eliyahu Hanavi, what's Hashem doing? He's Isaac and Pelegish begiving. And Hashem is saying, Ev Yasser b'nei kachamer, Yonis b'nei kachamer. Fragt the Gemara, Shalom ikasveika kamei shmaya, that Hashem's not sure. When scholars, this gets me nervous and it's ridiculous. A scholar will say, in the eyes of Rambam, but Rashi seems to feel, I see things like that, I cringe. It's like this such, they don't know how to learn Torah. What a stupidity. Because it's like, we're not so smart, as one scholar seems to think, another one counters, and we're left, I don't know. No, we do know. Rashi says a pshat in Torah, that's Torah for us. Hashem created Rashi, Hashem created Torah, and Rashi learns and brings us an emes. Ev Yasar b'ni kachaymer, that's Hashem's learning Torah. I created an Ev Yasar, I created a pasuk, and Suzaman, this is what I want to say, Ev Yasar b'ni kachaymer. That's how we learn Rashi, that's how we learn Mishanim. Saying eyes of Rambam. Rashi says Hashem created Rashi who learned the pasuk, so now it's Megalatas Torah, the Torah of Rashi that we have, and the Torah of the Rambam, and the eyes of him. It's like and we just don't know. No, Rashi says like this. This is what we know. Ev Yasser b'nei kachaymer Torah. It's not speculative. It's not different scholars seem to feel different. It's not how we view it. There's a Rashi, and Rashi learns Pshat, so now we have Torah, because Rashi says this Pshat. And the Rambam's Megala, and then we have two Pshatim. We have more Torah, we have four Pshatim and something. So the Barditchva, in the eyes of the Barditchva, Hashem created Levi Yitzchak's, now we have Torah of Levi Yitzchak's. Learn to Torah, learn to Pasuk's, now we have a Ribuy of Torah. It's clear, what seems to me is Talmai was limiting Torah. He was lessening. If somebody gets a translation, see access in Torah. We all let us say Pshatim in Torah, please. We're sitting right here, sharing. The Torah is here. And a Yid learns Torah and shares an idea in Torah. And we're allowed to help people access, but the Torah remains the Torah. What Talmai said is, get your best and wisest and give me, and this will be Torah. He was creating, give me Torah. It's even a Yid came to Yeshiva today, and I said this pshat, a Yid said it's interesting that he sat them in 70 cubicles. He says, not how we learn Torah. We learn Torah zusammen. We fight because it's Torah, what he sees, what he sees. He said, give me your best stuff, and together we'll put it together. Create Torah. He would have killed them if there was differences. It had to be an ace. They all wrote the same thing. But that's not even Torah. He wanted to create this. Tell me your best pshat, your smartest pshat. And this is Torah. It's not Torah. It's one person. It's Torah. The Torah is the untouched, and then the Torah is in every single yid. And every single yid learns and studies and says a pshat, and together the Rav Chashmaitza, the expansive sugya of each person studying the Dvar Hashem, you can't give the best pshat, and this is Torah and nothing else Torah. That's chayshach, that's narrowing Torah. Torah is the words of Hashem, and all the millions of Yidden who study Torah, all the Yidden who were handed Torah to learn it, to understand it, to bring out the emes of Torah. They wanted give me your best pshat, and that narrowing down, and that's Torah. Zehu. No, the original words, with each loimed Torah learning it, is Torah. It could be, if somebody has a different pshat, what the chayshach. There was some chayshach of narrowing down, of limiting, of lessening Torah. So that's one of the inyanim that brought a chayshach to the world. Very connects to Chanukah and Torah Shabbal Peh and mitzvahs to Rabbanan and the kayach of each yid to learn Torah, to have ideas in Torah. So that's one inyan that I wanted to share from this Kufas Hashana. To end, I was going to read the Gemara in Saita. The hour is late, but the Gemara in Saita describes on Yod Gimel in Saita describes the matzav. It describes the matzav of Klal Yisrael. The Shvatim are going all zusammen to bury Yaakov Avinu, and Esav's protesting. He's not allowing it. And a whole vikuach goes on over there, and Chushim ben Dan, who doesn't hear, he's not capable of hearing Chushim ben Dan, and he says, Yaakov Avinu is bebezayin. What's going on here? The Zayd is bebezayin, and he takes off Esav's head. He chops off Esav's head. And there's a famous memory from Reb Chaim Shmulevitz. I think this is what he means. But at times Reb Chaim said, why was everybody else comfortable with the bezayin? There's a bezayin here. He said, if I understand Reb Chaim Shmulevitz is saying, I don't want to blame on anybody, but I hear in the Chazal, they're all entering a discussion with Esav, and there's a machlokes and a shayla and a nidain, and in entering the nidain, you get used to something you shouldn't get used to. Yaakov Avinu is sitting there b'bzayin, but Esav's explaining, but he's talking, but he's darshaning. Chushin doesn't hear the whole, sometimes in all the ribuy of information and philosophizing, the simple fact, Yaakov Avinu is b'bzayin, is ridiculous. He's sitting here, he's lying, he's waiting, we're waiting to Naphtali, who was blessed, gave all of Klal Yisrael swiftness, he's running back there to bring back the star. No, this is not happening. And he takes off Esav's head. There are times that we get inundated with information, overly complex. We get in our head, we get overly, and something, it's interesting. The Alter Rebbe said something interesting. Somebody showed me that the Alter Rebbe said that even on a mitzvah, sometimes we get overly concerned that we should understand it and connect it. He said the mitzvah is so important. The Rebbeinu Shalom was geyser, like Mechatesi, you don't have to feel so much. There's a mitzvah that's chashuv, it's important. Like sometimes avada should be done b'simcha, but this could even help the simcha. Just knowing this is important. This is important. We can get caught up in our own head with drishas and chakiras and all. Sometimes the thing itself is really chashuv. It's occurred to me by davening a lot that we show up to davening, and tefillah is a big deal. A yid saying lifnei Hashem. The thing itself, we can outsmart ourselves and outthink ourselves and make cheshbainis and enter into this inyan itself, the Rebbeinu Shalom's mitzvah. I'm putting on tefillin, God commanded me to put on tefillin. It's a big zach. Chushim ben Dan doesn't enter into a whole vikuach and a whole back and forth. He's not blessed with hearing, or he's blessed with not hearing in this case. and he doesn't hear the whole nida and all the alle cheshbainis. He says Yaakov Avinu is in a matzah of Zion. I think there's a time we could all access Chushim. When sometimes it's a time to turn out to become a shtick. I remember people claimed, I don't know if it's true or not, I remember Rav Volba at the end of his life couldn't hear well. Some of his real close Talmidim said he had selective hearing. If he was saying Narishkeit, he lost his ability to hear. Maybe we could all be chushim a little bit. That at certain times we shouldn't hear so alachishbainis. Sometimes there's like a pashtus that doesn't need the whole vikuach and all the philosophizing and the alat statim. Sometimes you could just see something and it's chashiv and it counts and it matters and let's get it done in a beautiful way. You could do it more beautiful sometimes than the alachishbainis that we make. So I wonder if there's times that we could all be a little chushim. We should all have good hearing. All the days of our life to taka hear. It's not a klinikite to be able to hear. We should hear and be able to hear and hear wonderful besuras. To hear good zachen and hear divrei Torah, tefillah, words of praise about Yid. We should hear gesund. But maybe sometimes we could be selectively mute, and when there's kinds of things go on, sometimes in our own brain, sometimes shaylas and statim and things, and sometimes we could just depash the sa'inyan. The chushim ben dan who doesn't hear all the flaws, there's a simplicity there of my Zaydis bebezayin. It's not happening. It's just not happening. Then there's a simplicity, and he takes off Esav, says, sorry, it's not happening. I think there's a time, the taiv, in all different pu'ules, when we could turn off noise. We can channel the inner chushim and say, you know what, this is a chashiv inyan, this is it, and get to it and do a task with a sincerity. The Alter Rebbe described when people overly think and get caught up in cheshbainis. He said it was important to Hashem, so do with a certain cheshek that which is important to Hashem. You're not so connected, you are so connected. It's important to Hashem, stop making so many cheshbainis. You could have a certain chiyus in that this was Yaakov Avinu's mutal bebezayin. That's it. Sehu. No, I'm not. He's not so smart to hear the whole conversation. He's so smart not to hear the whole conversation. A good Shabbos.
You have been listening to a shiur from shasilluminated.org. For other shiurim on many topics, or to hear an Iyun shiur on any daf in Shas, including Mara Mekaymas on each shiur, please visit www.shasilluminated.org. To order CDs or for more information, please call 203-312-SHAS. That's 203-312-7427, or email info@shasilluminated.org.